My name is Fadi Batarseh. I'm the winemaker and executive director of Cremisan Winery in Bethlehem. It's a long story, but to make it short, Cremisan Winery offered an experience to learn about wine, and that was a project with the Italian cooperation, VIS, with also Trento municipality and Orvieto municipality. They wanted to send local people to learn about wine and then come back to manage the winery. So I was still at school, still 17. An Italian girl came and introduced the project of Cremisan. And I liked the idea. First of all, since I was a child, I liked gardening and doing stuff around the house, planting trees, trimming. So that was something that I liked. But at the same time, I didn't want to choose a type of work that is almost, every guy chooses: accounting, hotel management, and that's it. I wanted to maybe learn about something special that I can be unique in. So that was the start of things. We went to Italy first year to learn Italian, learn about wine, and that's the funny thing, that before going to Italy, I never tasted wine unless in mass. And we didn't have the culture of in our family to drink wine during dinner, during lunch. So and that was for me a pity, because we had this culture in Palestine. Every house used to make wine, arak, in their homes, and that's something that we have lost. And being young, being spiritual, something like that, I loved the idea also to make wine in a convent. This is a convent at the end. Cremisan belongs to the Salesian Fathers. And also their mission is to help poor people, orphans, give work opportunity to local people. So I loved the combination of learning something new, bringing back heritage and tradition, and in the same time working to a church and helping people at the same time. So it was a perfect combination. I went to Italy, worked in wineries, fell in love with the wine, it's a word, winemaking, and I started 3 years university in Trento and Udine, finished in this first exam, and came back to do work in the winery. Of course, during the 3 months of vacation, I always returned back home to work in Cremisan. Step by step, I became the winemaker and the executive director. Making wine in Cremisan. First of all, it's history. The Cremisan is from 1885. As I said, it belongs to the Salesian Fathers. The first wines that Cremisan started to make was the mass wine for the churches. So we make a mass wine, white and red, because here Catholics use white wine for the mass. Orthodox use red, so we do both to accontentate everybody. And also, you have history. You have the heritage of Palestinian wines. We have Palestinian grape varieties that are, harvested here in Bethlehem, in Hebron area. So it's a combination of tradition and also the purpose of Cremisan itself. Yeah, it's an honor. The idea came to us because our consultant is Dr. Riccardo Cottarella. So in Italy, and in France, they do make wines from their local varieties, and they are very concentrated on giving the names on the bottle and be proud of what they have. So this is what I thought. This is what I did. We have great varieties. We had great wines made in the past. So why everything has changed to international varieties and we still have these local varieties? So the first thing that Dr. Riccardo told me, you have to identify them. You can't start making wines without having an identification. So we took 63 different samples with the help of Hebron University, and we did the genetic analysis in Italy. And the result was that we only had 21 different genotypes, not 63. And that alone was a huge, revelation for us, because according to our farmers, there were 63 different varieties, but in reality, only 21. Then I did some micro-vinifications to see which ones were more suitable for winemaking and can compete with the international varieties. And that was our choice, that we chose only 4 varieties, 3 whites, the Dabuki, Hamdani, and Jandali. And the only red that we have chosen is the Baladi. Nowadays, like almost 99% of our export is done by our local varieties, because we also wanted to see if they can compete. So we entered competitions in San Francisco, in San Diego, in Berlin, in Italy, in Terravino, and they took gold medals, silver medals. So that was our purpose, and that was the results, that no, our varieties can compete. We have good wines. We are not relying only on international varieties to make good wines. And this is why also, we do Cabernet Sauvignon or a combination Petit Verdot Cabernet, but to export from Palestine a Cabernet to France or Italy doesn't make any sense. Now everybody wants to taste our indigenous varieties, Palestinian indigenous varieties, and they, there's a good market for them, and holding the flag of Bethlehem throughout the world. It depends, but the most that I like, because you can enjoy it even, as a drinking with the mazze, for example, or with food, is the Dabuki. Then the red, our red is it's an easygoing wine, soft tannins, so also you can enjoy it while eating or barbecue or anything. So for the whites, I think the Dabuki is my favorite. Yeah. That's a hard question. We try to do, for example, we did also a rosé from the Baladi. We restarted distilling also the Dabuki to make brandy that we have in the winery. We have a brandy 40 years aged in barrels, done by one of the priests long time ago. And also we started making arak from the Dabuki. So that's something that we introduced to Cremisan. We introduced some also liqueurs. But I see that in some markets there's the tendency of going to natural wines. So this year for the American market, we made 5,000 liters of white and 5,000 liters of red that we will start, we produced this year. So when it's ready, we will send to our importer and see how that goes. We are trying our best, of course, under the situation that we already in. First of all, we had difficult 6 years between COVID and the war. So there was no tourists around, and unfortunately, especially Bethlehem is built around tourism. So you have restaurants, hotels, and everything is, linked to tourism. You have Jerusalem, you have Nazareth. Without tourism, there is no real market here. So we had a very difficult 6 years on selling wines. So we even reduced the quantities of harvested grapes that we buy. We hope that everything will get back to normal. And of course, having grapes, our farmers had difficulties entering their lands, so we're worried to have the quantities that we need, and I hope this won't be a problem in the future. The sad thing is that we did a lot of work, and as if yet because of these 6 years you didn't, harvest the results of this good work. So that was a little bit breaking, heartbreaking for me, because we did a lot of things. We opened new markets like Norway. Also, we regained our market in Nazareth, Haifa area. So now, the potential of Cremisan is very big. We have a big capacity. We can make almost 500,000 bottles, 600,000 bottles a year. But now we are doing 100,000 bottles a year. We used to make, before the COVID, 250,000 bottles a year. So we need more markets to be opened so we can produce more. The more that we produce, of course, as Cremisan, the more help we can give. So I want to reach that. I want Cremisan to reach its potential. And thanks to our clients and these drinkers that like our wines, our dream is starting to become real. But we want it even more and more to reach more people and more markets, to make people happy by drinking our wine. And of course, and that's the most important thing, at least also for me, is to prove that in Palestine there is good wineries, good winemakers, good wines, good varieties that can compete with international varieties, and we can hold our head up high. We passed a summer, so chilled rosé is a very enjoyable drink, also for with aperitif, with mazze. You can combine it with different things, but at least on the beach, for example, with a picnic, it will be lovely. Of course. First of all, when we started making the wines from the local varieties, that was the intention, not to separate the new tradition of winemaking with the history and heritage that we have here. So that's what was the idea, to link them together and keep the old history alive. If we have converted to international varieties with new technology and everything, you would have lost this link. This is why I'm continuing on making wines from our indigenous, local, historical varieties, of course, with the new knowledge of winemaking, to reach the top of the potential of these varieties. This year I tried working with the Bituni, for example, and it's another red, and we have discarded it when we have started, but when I used it this year, it also have good potential. Done fermentation, done the malolactic fermentation. Now it's aging, and we will see the results. All these barrels that we're still using, we have the big Italian oak barrels, which are 4,500 liters. We have the 40-year-old brandy, so we have smaller barrels of 700 liters of brandy. And also, as I maybe mentioned before, for example, for the baladi, we don't use new barrels like these. We use used barrels, because we don't want the aromas of the new barrel to cover the characteristic of this varietal. Any new barrel will give you the aroma and the taste of wood, but it will cover the characteristic of the varietal itself. So this is why we choose for the baladi to use older ones, to give a little bit of hint, of wood, the smell and the taste, but not in a way to cover the grape, because we want the variety itself to pop up in the bottle, not only the barrels.